What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy and I've got a bit of a sit down one here today. I'm just going to be talking to you guys about AFL 23 because I have played it on the channel before. I have made videos using AFL 23 before, and it's something that I was going to get back into until a recent announcement from Big Ant Studios, the creator of AFL 23, saying that the Pro Team game mode has been delayed once again based on approval from the platform holders. So they're definitely in a bit of water for that. Obviously, the massive delay in the first place, it shouldn't have even been happening, but it was planned for May 28th, and at the time of recording this and the time you'll see this, it'll be May 31st. So that means we are already late on that again, and rightfully so. A lot of people got annoyed. A lot of people were very, very annoyed with it. We've already been having to wait a year for the game mode that I think a lot of people were really picking up the game for. There's still a bunch of game modes that people were really hopeful for, and it's just not come through. This has been a very bare bones game for about a year, so it really needs a boost from this game mode, and the fact that it's been delayed again is just going to be a massive problem. But what a lot of people have been excited for is the fact that they have at the very least released a bit of a teaser for the AFL 23 Pro Team mode, and that'll be on in the background that you will be seeing right now. You'll be seeing it play over and over again. Probably will repeat for a bit, but the good thing is that you will at least be seeing what I am seeing and kind of what I'm getting used to here for the Pro Team mode. But what you'll be able to see from the Pro Team, obviously you select your favorite club and you pick out some of the players. So it says here you can pick some role players in, it looks like the emerald tier or the green tier, and it gives you random ones, but you get to pick 4 different players, and that seems to be a bit of a theme for the entirety of the video, is that you pick 4 of a pack. But you start off with those 4 from the beginning, and then you get filled out the rest with looks like silvers and bronzes, and then from there you open up, it looks like player packs, base player packs. I don't know if they go to like deluxe, much like NBA 2K does, but the theme is that you pick 4 players from each pack, or 4 cards from each pack, in order to fill out your team. And I guess, as you'll see and probably have seen already, when you get past the player packs, you get into the consumables and the stadiums and the club logos, and they all kind of run under that same idea of 4 different things you can pick in a pack. It says as well on the selection screen, once you are ready to continue, you can also use 50 Pro Team coins to select another one, which is interesting to say the least. But I like the fact that it's got the lineup it's got the lineup screen pretty much ready to go. It doesn't look too difficult to work out. You've got your lineup in general, you've got defenders, midfielders, and forwards. I just don't know whether there's going to be much trading. It doesn't look like there will be. It looks like you will just use and sell whatever you don't have already, or whatever you're getting a double of. You use it or sell it to get, it looks like, the second currency that the game mode owns. I don't know what that blue one is up the top right that you're seeing, but that blue currency looks to be the one that you will get the most, like through selling your players, through doubling up, whatever it may be. You can also see in the trailer they've got their own little team custom creator designer. You've got colors, you've got team names, you've got the initials, whatever it is. And I like the emblems and jerseys, that kind of section. That definitely is very reminiscent of all the other Ultimate Team type modes that we've gotten in other sports. You get to choose the stadium, you get to choose your banner, which is kind of cool. I'm seeing crowd chants, supporter merchandise. There's a lot of interesting little things in there. They're very picky, they're nothing too crazy, but I'm not mad at it. And then right before they jump into the proper My Team mode, or the proper Pro Team mode, they give you a little sneak peek as to what one of the areas looks like, My Pro Team. We can see there that level progression is a thing, objectives, manage club, message center, and statistics. And we even saw ourselves some things like the ladder leaders. You could see the store. There's one called Team of the Week, which looks like it'll be kind of exciting, although I feel like it's a bit meh now that we're already halfway through the season. But you've got your store, but that looks like it's just there to purchase credits, which I am kind of not looking forward to. And yeah, that's about it that I'm looking at. You've got your single matches, you've got your Premiership Challenge, which is going to be an interesting little game mode if you see it on the left side. Single match looks like it could be either you verse one person online in a regular match, or you play against the AI. And honestly, I'm kind of cool with a mix of both if it can, but I guess it kind of leads me into more of my other points that I'll show up in a second. But we've also got the coach battles, which looks to be another type of game mode. I really could not tell you what any of these game modes are at this moment, but there are a few things they have mentioned in the meantime. So they have mentioned that as soon as they get approval from the platform holders, they will be releasing the Pro Team game mode into AFL 23. So I'm fingers crossed that that is soon. But I guess that's where a lot of my problems kind of come from. And I wanted to kind of spend a bit of time talking about this because I think a lot of people have felt the same. It's nice that they're starting to finally update us, but at the same time, I think personally at least, it feels like everything about this game mode and everything about AFL 23, the game in general, just feels too late. Like, this game mode should have come out with the game, but the fact that it's coming out a year and a bit after the game was released is very disheartening, and it makes me question whether the game will be able to stand up on its own legs for very long at all, because this game looks to thrive on the idea of people purchasing in-game coins, continuously playing the game over and over again. Like, if they've got a division system for something, then it's going to be very tough to make it work. The player numbers are already very low. I guess the only positive and maybe upside you could see for a potential recovery is the fact that it is cross-platform, but if you haven't seen other people talk about AFL 23's slow decline that have probably been littered on YouTube, you would be able to tell that the player numbers on Steam at the very least have been quite poor for quite some time. And honestly, you can't blame too much. You really cannot blame them too much. The game modes that they've got on hand are very bare bones. You get them in a lot of other sports in a much more in-depth position. And I guess more on the production side of things, Big Ant are now having to compete with 2K in the tennis area with Top Spin coming out and all the tennis games that 2K are starting to put out. And from all signs, it looks like the tennis side on 2K is really thriving, which is surprising considering how poor they've treated 2K NBA, at least in the last few years. But Topspin looks to be pretty good, which is obviously a problem for Big Ant because Big Ant have their own tennis game. And so it's kind of like 2K really are starting to put the pressure on them to really push out a good product, but that doesn't seem to happen with AFL, and for good reason. AFL obviously being an Australian game, unless 2K, or God forbid, I hope it never happens, EA take the AFL scene and try and make a game out of it. I know that EA, oh man, it'll be a tough sight if EA take over the AFL scene, but I hope it doesn't happen. But I guess all of this kind of makes me think, what is this game going to become with Pro Team? Will Pro Team even become a playable game or a playable game mode with the few numbers that we've got? It will have that initial boom, hence why I'm talking about it, and I've had comments on my previous shorts when I've talked about Pro Team and AFL 23 in general. People very recently have been going to it and saying, where is Pro Team? Because they were told May 28th. So there's clearly a bunch of people who are ready to play. I think a lot of people have bought the game because of Pro Team, and this is really, like, this time here is really dependent on how the first days go, and it's already off to a bad start with the delay. I just wish they had done this all a bit sooner. It feels like there's not much room to give Big Ant any like leniency or credibility or credit, as to how like they've been handling it, because this game mode should have come out once AFL 23 was released, but here we are, still hasn't been released yet, and we now have to deal with another delay. Like, I want to try and give them the benefit of the doubt because I know that game development and I know that entire industry is cutthroat. It's so hard to find work. There's so many people who crunch so many hours into video games, but it's so hard to enjoy the game when you are being promised all these amazing features and you're being told it's the best AFL game that's come out, and it feels just like the last, if not worse, if it wasn't for the gloss of the graphics over the top of it. And I guess that's kind of my overall point with what I've been talking about just in this little section, is that what's the point of this game mode if it's late? I feel like the time for this game mode was to be the release of AFL 23, and now that they've missed that, what are they going to do? Like, I am very much under the idea that this game mode was going to be their money maker. I believe purchasing the game itself at a ridiculous $100 has certainly helped. I don't think it deserves, and I don't think anyone thinks it deserves to be a $100 price tag. I think it should at least have some kind of sale or some kind of price slash to make it more worth it, but this is going to be their money-making game mode. It kind of has to be, because there's no other game mode that really works with that kind of method, and everyone knows these ultimate team type game modes really thrive when people are putting hundreds of dollars into it. But I don't know why, if they're looking for that profit, they decided to even release the game, or even like put this game so far out from its initial release date. It's all very confusing. It feels like they promised way too much and was way too underprepared for it all. I like the idea of it. I like the lookout and the attempt to try and do something like this, but it's just so damn frustrating. So damn frustrating. This game mode feels like it's going to flop so hard after the first day or two, purely because of the fact that, one, the gameplay itself is not too crash hot, and two, the game mode really thrives on communities. The entire Ultimate Team game mode really thrives when you've got a whole bunch of people making a whole bunch of videos on it, and that's when you start to see the money rolling in. Obviously, at the same time, that can be an idea of how bad the Ultimate Team communities can be, because they will just continuously funnel money into a company that doesn't care. But this is their first attempt, so I think their best shot at getting this game off the ground is by making sure this is a good game mode, good team mode. And it feels like the fact they're already a year late is way off the mark. They have really ruined their chances of making this a viable game mode. But all that being said, I'm still going to give it a go. Like I said, a lot of people on the initial release, once they say that the game mode is out, are going to be playing this game, myself included. I'm going to be doing a live stream on it on the channel. So if you do want to see what it's like, what Pro Team is like, and you want to play against me, whatever the case may be, I definitely recommend subscribing to the channel. I do a whole bunch of AFL content in general as well, so if you like AFL 23 and like AFL in general, this is the place for you to be. Leave a like on the video as well, and let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on AFL 23 Pro Team, because I am really stressed on how the game is going to go. I've really wanted this game mode to come out for a while, and I was really hoping to do well, because we all want a good AFL game, and AFL 23 up until this point has missed the mark. So hopefully with this game mode release, they can consistently fix the gameplay, create that community that we all want, and have a good time. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling for a little bit, and I hope to see you all very soon. Good.